My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
I'm going to do a quick one here, friends, by Carl Gustav Jung. One of my favorites, of course, as you probably well know. Carl says, to be normal is the ultimate aim of the unsuccessful. How many times have you heard, I just want to be normal, man? Of course, then, you think in statistics what normal is, right? And it's depending on how many sigma from the mean you go, normal is based on who can be categorized as being within a certain set of parameters that can be counted on. And you can look at them and have the expectation that they are going to act in a certain way, behave within certain parameters, and that you don't have to be worried about their reaction to the things that you're saying and doing, or even putting them through, even when you know that what you're doing to them is negative. They're not going to fight back. They're not going to speak up. They are literally sheeple. And if you've read my novel series, or even just one of the books in that series, you know that I use the word sheeple to connotate those who follow blindly. In order to do that, they must be within those norms. And of course, that means that they're going to be unsuccessful in the things that they do in their life, because success can only be achieved by pushing oneself into that abnormal space beyond probably the third sigma from the mean. Finding that location where you plop yourself down and say, here's what I am, here's who I am, and you cannot force me into accepting something that I do not believe to be true or just or reality. Those are the people that are successful. I think a big example of this, and I love Elon Musk and the things that he's trying to accomplish, and I kind of do lucid dreaming around the methodologies that he's trying to utilize in order to think about how, if there was something that I could do to help, what would it be? What would that encapsulate? And so I keep thinking, he wants to move people to Mars, and he wants to increase the gravity on Mars so that it can retain over a long period of time a atmosphere. In order to do that, he would have to increase the mass of the planet itself. What would it take to do that? What would it take to capture an atmosphere? And so I was thinking of, well, you could bombard Mars with uh, um, you know, asteroids from the Kuiper Belt that exists out there beyond Mars. How do you pull those items in and bombard Mars with them? And as you did that, as you did that bombardment, would it reach a point where the amount of mass is great enough to reach critical mass at the center of the planet in order to reignite the core, which may not be completely solidified at this point. And when you reach a certain level of mass, of course, the the powerful waves, other than sunlight, that are coming off of the sun and from the rest of the cosmos, liquefy planetary cores based on those cosmic waves interacting with the atomic structure. And so you think about, okay, so is there a possibility that could actually happen, that was possible? I don't know. All right, this is just things that come into my brain as I'm laying down, getting ready to sleep, and I'm doing some lucid dreaming, wondering. And then another thing I keep thinking about is, well, could you construct carbon nanites, which is possible now, and blast them off in a satellite that is in geosynchronous orbit around Venus, that then drops down a dongle, which is like a big hose, right? And starts sucking up gases and then liquefying those gases and then solidifying those gases in to pull enough of the atmosphere off of Venus to transport it to Mars, which, Mars has only a tenth of the atmosphere that we have on Earth, and then Venus has 10 times the atmosphere that we have. And if you could pull enough of the gases off of Venus, liquefy them, solidify them, and then move them into Mars's orbit, and then tell the nanites to, disengage from each other, because they would be holding the structure together, that could you move enough atmosphere in order to create a significant atmosphere on Mars, with bombarding Mars to have an 80% or greater coefficient of Earth's atmosphere in order to retain that atmosphere. So I keep thinking about all these things, right? I know that I'm not normal. All right? Most people do not sit around and think, let alone try to accomplish lucid dreaming, to figure out what could be done in order to impact other planets, right? I'm weird, all right? But that lucid dreaming and the ideas that I create then become things that I add into the novels that I'm writing, which I try to base the science that's in those novels on actual, either theoretical mechanics, or just maybe outside the edge of what we currently are capable of, and then other people can create the capability. Anyway, those are the kinds of things that I think of, and I know that makes me abnormal. Anyway, I've kind of gone down a rabbit hole here in talking about Jung, however you want to pronounce it. I like Jung the most, but so many people call him Jung. Get yourself out of that normality if you want to become successful. Not that I exemplify success, but you can't get there until you break out of those bonds that people hold you in. Anyway, that's about it for this one. I'll let you go. Bye.